just got back from Food Lion, and there's this girl. She popped out of the back room, and she was like, "Hey, excuse me, how tall are you?" And I was like, 6'3". How tall are you? And then she was just like, "Oh, I promise I'm not being weird. We thought you were like 6'5". Okay. And then she was like 4'9", and she went back to the back room. All right, so I turn the aisle, and as I'm getting my chicken, she comes up again. She was like, "Hey, how old are you?" And I was like, 26. And she's like, "I promise we're not being creepy. We thought you were like, 20. Thank you so much for your time." And then she goes back into the back room. And when I was driving home, that's when it started to like, I don't know, I just like wanted to cry. And I hate how much I cry, but I'm like very sensitive. And when I was driving home, I was like literally like about to start bawling crying because I don't know, like I just feel really bad for women that have crushes on me. And then I feel bad for myself because it's like, oh damn, like did I make the right decision? Because I feel like once you start being gay, and I've noticed this after I hook up with men or after, I sleep with men, I look in the mirror and I can tell I look gayer. There's something biological, chemical that goes on that makes two men who have a lot of testosterone, and there's too much testosterone in like one little space, and there's a lot of rubbing and touching and, a lot of chemical exchanges, obviously like saliva, and there's just too much testosterone. So I end up looking very gay. I end up looking very, very gay, way gayer than normal. I'll look in the mirror and like the way my nose looks, the way my face looks, just like the way I'm standing, I look more gay than I did the night before having sex with men. So now I'm questioning, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is it too late to go back to women? And I get emotional for the girls because it's like, no girl wants to get rejected, let alone get rejected by a gay man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's probably like the worst thing a girl can do is like if her boyfriend turns gay. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably the most humiliating thing ever. Or even if she can't tell if a man is gay. So I feel really, really bad for her because this happened to me in college where I was just like, I didn't get turned on as much as I should have with this girl. And this girl was, they're always like a little dorky. They're always like, they don't get approached. And then when they do approach, then I'm like the bad guy for them. And I feel really bad. But then at the same time, I'm also like, I feel bad for myself because it's like, I'm kind of like, I don't know, there's something that women have that men do not have. And I'm not talking about the obvious two things. I'm talking about like emotionally. There's something about women that gives Mother Nature. There's something about women that men can appreciate on like a relationship level. Like, I'm not one of those gay men that likes a ton of Starbucks, that likes coffees and matchas and like espressos. I'm not like one of those gay men, and I don't listen to pop music anymore. And like, you know what I mean? I'm just like not one of those gay men. I don't wear like crop tops. I'm not one of those gay men. So it's just, there's something really nice about women when you see a woman that's like feminine or even just slightly feminine, and you know what I mean? Like they have a different perspective, they talk differently, they act differently, they have different interests than men, and it's really refreshing and nice, and it's like kind of like a yin yang. Whereas if you have two men, it's just like yang yang, and sometimes it gets too much, and it just ends up not as good. And I don't know how else to put it. I'm not shaming anyone. That this is my personal experience, and I'm really tired of anyone in the comments saying that I can't talk about this, that this is exhausting. These are my feelings. This is how I feel inside. This is how I've struggled my whole life. I deserve to talk about my feelings. You don't get to tell me how I am going to feel, how I'm going to live my life. This is true to me. And if it's not true to you, that's okay. Not everyone's the same. You know what I mean? Everyone has different experiences. Everyone has different lives. Everyone has different upbringings. Not everyone's experience is going to be the same. And this is my experience. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you, but you're going to respect it. I'm sick of reading the comments who keep saying like, you can't do this, go to therapy, go to therapy. I've been to 3 therapists and every time it was a disaster. Because my first therapist, I tried seeking him like 2 or 3 years ago on my own terms, on my own will. I was like, oh my gosh, like I need therapy. This guy, I'm not joking, has the dirtiest room. He's on Zoom, has the dirtiest room. Everything's scattered. There's clothes on the floor. There's food on the floor. Dirtiest room. And he's like this obese, gonna like die prematurely guy. And he's trying to give me advice on like relationships, on like sexuality and like other stuff. And he's sitting there with like a little gamer headset on. And this guy's trying to tell me how I should live my life. No. I'm sick of the therapy comments. Those really, really, really bother me, dude. Get therapy. It doesn't work for all people. It doesn't work. My needs are very specific. I'm a very specific person. I'm not a general cookie cutter person. You can't just put me in a box. And anyone that has ever been put in a box knows that it's the worst feeling ever. You feel small, you feel limited, you feel like you can't express yourself, and you're not gonna tell me or anyone else, because I will stick up for other people now, because I went through it for years and years and years, and I had no one that stuck up for me. You're not gonna put other people in a box, okay? You're not. But anyway, like going back to the girls, it's like crap. Like, did I mess up? Like, there's something about girls that's like really nice, and I started to realize like maybe I'm just gay for the stay. Like right now I'm still a little insecure. I'm figuring out like what I want to do for life and like living and like my real beliefs and like sticking to them and like, you know, developing a personality, right? I'm working on those things. I'm becoming more and more secure. I'm getting healthier and healthier. And like, I'm starting to become like a strong person, right? And it's like, you know, maybe when those things happen, maybe like I'll attract more women and dating women would be more enjoyable. Because I also used to watch, you know, so much just adult videos that just ruined my mind, and they ruined everyone's mind. I don't care if it's fun every once in a while. Yeah, that's way better. But if you're watching it every day, dude, you can tell people that do. And I'm starting to realize like it's more about like the long-term relationship. It's starting to become more and more attractive, because before with like men, it's like, you know, you hook up on the first date, you get with them on the first date, you send like maybe 3 or 4 messages and that's it. Women, it's like so much more intricate. It's so much more like beautiful. It's so much more special, and it makes sex 1,000 times more special. So it's like, you know, maybe now that I have more stability and my brain is maturing and things are, you know, I'm getting better and like more secure in myself, maybe it's like, I don't mind getting rejected from women. Maybe you face way more rejection. Well, you don't, maybe you definitely face way more rejection with women, but it's like, you know, maybe it's worth it. And maybe when I'm confident and secure, it's not going to bother me. And I'm just going to be able to, you know, keep chugging along till the right person comes along. And like, I'm getting out there more, I'm doing more things, so I have more chance to actually like meet people, which, you know, it's way easier to meet a woman in person. So I just feel like, you know, I'm kind of like gay for the stay. And what really bothers me from like a gay dating perspective is like every dude wants this like serious relationship. They want the one. They want like marriage. They want like all these big plans. Or they just like, you know, they want someone for like 5-10 years. It's like, dude, I kind of just want a guy for like maybe 6 months or a year. After that, we'll part ways. We'll both get very attractive, like fun wives that make our lives better, and we'll live like a good life. But like for now, maybe I'm like gay for the stay. You know what I mean? Or gay for the pay. I like, it's fun, but it's not worth it. You know what I mean? It's not bad, but it's not good for the long run. You know what I mean? So I kind of just I want a guy, like honestly, like I want a guy. Maybe we'll like fake a relationship online or something like that. We like making videos together. We like having fun, right? But we're not like super serious about it. We're not like comparing it to like a heterosexual relationship. Instead, it's a completely separate thing. We're just gonna have fun. He could be maybe like 5 or 10 years older. That's fine too. Like he could be like a mentor. Maybe he like, had a rough time growing up and now he finally got his stuff together and he sees that in me and he like wants, to help me do my own thing, but he's not in love with me. You know what I mean? He's not in love with me. He doesn't want like marriage. He doesn't want to fall in love. We want like this manly mentor thing. And maybe we don't even have sex that much. You know what I mean? Maybe we don't move in with each other. Maybe we do, and maybe we just like want to split rent and have fun every now and again, like, a couple times a year. Other than that, like we're trying to make each other better, And now like that I'm talking about this out loud to you, you know what I mean? I'm starting to feel like, maybe I just like have some desperation. So maybe I have daddy issues like a lot of gay guys do. People are like, oh no, like I'm a perfectly normal gay man. And then everyone like upvotes it. And it's like, no, no, that's not the majority of gay men. I'm sorry, that's not the majority. And then the last thing I want to talk about real quick is like, so everyone's like, oh, you can't choose your sex. I understand that. You can't choose it up to 30%. It's genetic, like 20 or 30%, but scientists say the other, you know, 70%, half of it's like environmental factors, you know what I mean? Like if you're in a very gay area, I don't know, like West Hollywood, chances are you're going to be gay. All right. And then it's like, there's like other things that they don't know about. So it's not 100% genetic. I understand like some people are born more gay than other people though. Like, you know what I mean? Like some men come out at birth and they're going to wear a crop top and there's nothing you can do about it. And I fucking love that. I love that. I love men who want to express themselves however they want to express themselves. I relate on such a deep level with that. Same thing for women, same thing for like autistic people, ADHD people. I relate on such a deep level. Like you deserve to do you. And as long as it doesn't harm other people, you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to be your best self. Anyone else that tells you no, or anyone else that discriminates, anyone else that pushes back and makes you feel uncomfortable, they are a bad person. They are a bad person, and I don't want to associate with those bad people. I cut them out of my life. You should too. You deserve better. So I don't know where I'm going with this video, but like this was just like how I was filling out the food line earlier today. I'm so scared of like people recognizing me. Like I'm just like so socially awkward. You just never know who's seen your like, I'm out there, you know what I mean? Like it's always so nerve-wracking. But anyway, yeah. I need a haircut. I'm gonna go play pickleball and I want you guys to have an amazing day. See you guys.